Howdy, welcome back to the channel. This is Matthew Pizgatti looking at the DRIP network coin price. And we're talking about DRIP and how the price matters. Does it not? Not financial advice. I can't tell you what to do with your funds. I can only document what I'm doing as I go through this kind of passive crypto journey myself, which has only been about a month or so. I mean, obviously, I'm incredibly techie. That's part of my job in IT, but I don't deal with crypto directly. I've been following it for a long while. I've traded some single coins here and there, but by no means any type of expert opinion. Just another guy on the internet who is invested into this protocol, and so I'm interested in this protocol and others and talking about them. So the price is lower. It's been on a downward trend since, well, when was that? Looks like kind of about early February. So since early February, so about a month and a half, you could say we've been on this downward trajectory. I'm a little excited today because even though I don't have a lot in here, by the way, so I'm not only excited for me, I'm also excited for others if this starts to swing back up, especially for those who have been following me and subscribing and who are on the same like pathway with me. Not only for them, but also new people, because new people see that swing and hopefully they catch it early and they can kind of ride that back up, similar to those who got in way early on. So why aren't people, I should say, why aren't the OGs, why aren't people who've been in here a while, in DRIP network specifically, like in the faucet, why aren't they so worried about price? And there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, the DRIP faucet, if you're using that as your base, the DRIP faucet gives you 1% return. Every day, you get 1% of the DRIP that you've deposited back. Now, remember, you deposit it in as DRIP, as the DRIP token, and you claim it or you compound it back in as DRIP. You get 1% a day. You can get up to 365% on your investment, and that includes the amount that you're hydrating, that you're recompounding back in. So I didn't put in much over 1. I'm up to 1.293. It was about 130 when I bought it, so it's lower now. That could make me sad, but I think it's going to swing back up. And not only that, I'm getting a free 1% every day on my investment, up to 365%. For those who are new to the whole system, the whole DRIP network, there is a cap, 365,000 DRIP. Wait, rewind that. 100,000 DRIP is the cap on a single wallet. Now, you can have as many wallets as you want. You can stack them, you can chain them, you can do whatever. Multiple wallets will extend the amount of time that in total, where you could be compounding multiple wallets and they could all reach maturity around the same time, and you'd have more, but it'll take longer for you to get there because you're not snowballing in a single wallet. But there are strategies like that depending on your long-term goals. But regardless, it's paying out 1% a day, up to 365%. On whatever this is, you're going to have this 365, this max payout, 4.7 DRIP. The thing is, it's a long-term investment. It's not a get-rich-quick overnight scheme. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. By the way, I'm also not shilling this as a referral type based system. I'm not trying to build a team. Reason is, you got to have DRIP tokens. You got to hold a certain number of those to even get referrals from your team members. Somebody joined under me, which is nice, but I try to reiterate on these videos related to DRIP. Had a kind of blank space in the brain for a moment there. I try to reiterate on these videos about DRIP that I'm not doing this to get referrals for DRIP. Now, for the DRIP Garden, I do appreciate those referrals. You don't have to hold any tokens. But the DRIP faucet, I don't. So you should sign up under somebody else for that. Another YouTuber, friend, family, or even just whoever's wallet you can snag. Maybe there's a lot of people who do airdrops. They give free DRIP out randomly. That might be a better choice for you. But anyway, I'm just talking about this for the heck of it. And so you get this steady 1%. I think that's one reason. They know that it's a long-term play, and so they're not that worried about the price. Those who are in the know, those who know, as they say. So they're not too worried there. But why else? Why else? Let's go look at the price. Let's zoom out. So we're going to 1 year or all. When you zoom out in charts, you get a different perspective, right? We're not so worried about this fall here, because we've seen it come up from $7, $6, all the way up to where the peak was, which was 160. I mean, if you want to look at this more horizontal movement, 130. And so, especially OGs who have been here a while, they've seen it go from 60 to 20, back down up to 70, almost up to 80, all the way back down to 55 in a short period of time. I mean, I say short period of time, but that's 12.16 to 12.20. I mean, that a number of people are probably worried right there, right? I mean, a week, 2 week, a week and a half, all the way back up to 88, and then back down to 50. So they're chilling up here at 88, thinking it's good, and then although across 10 days it drops like this again. And then there was this huge rocket upward. But the point is, they've seen big dips before. And by the way, that's another reason to be positive right now, to be bullish, despite some of these comments that just really have no basis in any type of thinking on either side. Some people are just positive no matter what. Some are bullish, bearish no matter what, on both sides. But on the flip side, you can see some of this support level, this 55 here, this 54 here. That's as low as it's been since, since December? Yeah, since December 14th. So that's January, February. Now we're halfway into March, and we're getting to that point again. But that is a very likely support floor that we may be finding here at 55, 59. The website with the internal UI actually shows it a little differently. It doesn't show that it's gotten under 56 today. I don't know why theirs is slightly different. Someone could clarify that in the comments for me. That'd be great. I'm just using this more publicly available front-facing website. But so that's another reason to not be too worried, right? This may be a floor that we're seeing. If it's not, if we drop back down here, I wouldn't worry that much about it. I would still think that it's like a panic sell and that we're going to raise back up. Unless there's this huge issue that comes out about the developers or some huge issue that comes out about the network as a whole, which I've not really seen enough evidence to tell me that. Now, Forex Shark, the developer, did launch the Animal Farm. He did launch Piggy Bank. And then Piggy Bank did have kind of an issue where a bunch of snipers, bots, they're blaming bots. Who knows? It could have been someone who got in early before the timer hit 0. Maybe the contract kicked off a little early. That indicates some sort of issue, but you can tell by the actions to fix it if, in my opinion, if the developer is of good faith or not. He's paused all the pigs. He's paused all the dogs. He's paused a good portion of the Animal Farm. He's launching a version 2. He's going to give a chance for everyone to submit their version 1 tokens to have them swapped out for version 2. He's going to fix the amount of liquidity that was in the pool. He said he launched with too shallow of liquidity in the Piggy Bank. He's going to fix that. And then he's going to airdrop everyone an appropriate amount of tokens. Some people may get more because that distribution from the bot, he's basically going to recreate the transactions and pretend like the bot didn't happen, is what it sounds like. Pretend like that bot didn't get in early and take such a large percentage of the pool. So there was an issue. It sounds like it's being fixed within the next couple days, and then he's going to start the game back up for Piggy Bank. So I don't see any issue there. What are other reasons you could be bearish? You might not like the DRIP Garden because there's been kind of a decline in the profits there. And the reason for that is it's based on, what is it based on? It's based on DRIP. It's based on a DRIP/BUSD LP token. And that's going down because DRIP's going down. So that's why we're not making profit there. And we can when this swings back up. So, I think that's why OG people, especially if they got in early on, they've made so much up to this point, they're not really worried. And by the way, that's another one of those things to take into account. A lot of the big wallets are hitting their max. They're hitting that 100K drip. And so hopefully they're not selling. If they're smart, they're not selling. They're just claiming it out of the pool and holding it until the price comes back up. So hopefully they're not selling. But they are getting out of the drip faucet. And I'm sure they have other wallets and they're working on getting those up to max those out as well. But that should be positive for the system. We should see a leveling out as they're not leeching off the system as heavily as they were, and then kind of leveling out to start climbing again. That should help, but that may be over the next over the next month and into April. So we may see that. What else is positive? So we have all these positive, bullish things coming down the pipeline from Forex Shark, from the developer. He's still talking about a Chainlink partnership. He's still talking about an NFT partnership with a pretty notable NFT company. Talking about some metaverse game options. One of the independent developers that created one of these viewers for the garden, this dripviewer.com, they have a roadmap down here that also mentions some 3D games and some marketplaces utilizing the Animal Farm tokens. So that's pretty amazing. I don't know exactly what this means, but this is very positive to me. This is looking at what, 822, 622, 622. So there's some fun stuff coming down from independent developers, not even from the developers of DRIP. That's really positive. All that's pretty cool once Forex can shift some direction back to DRIP. He said he's going to after the Animal Farm, this Piggy Bank launch gets up and going. So I've kind of covered a lot of bases there. I'm not worried at the 55 floor. If it slips past that and goes down to a 15, 20, that's kind of, I'm really positive about that, because if that's all that happens and none of these other circumstances have changed, I won't have lost any faith in the system. And just on personal finance level, I should have more money available then, more liquid capital to throw in. And I would if it hit that like $18 mark, 100%. You best believe I'm buying 5, 6, 7, 8, however many drip I can get. I'm probably going to buy those, and I would actually slap them into the faucet. That's where a lot of people have made money over this last like 10 months, 11 months, because they bought in when it was low. And so not only do they get this 365%, and they're compounding their drip, but then drip went up a lot for them. And that's what made some really big names that we know in the network, in the ecosystem. So that's all really positive. The last thing I haven't touched on is today, when you're getting on these smaller charts, like especially the 1 day, I'm not seeing as much of a steep decline. I'm looking at the 7 day. It's not horizontal. It's still going down. It is still dropping. That I see. But I think if I'm not just completely blind, that I'm seeing more of a leveling action than I was. This is all pretty steep. It's like a roller coaster. Like whoa, whoa, it's dropping, and then this isn't. None of these are as steep of a drop. It seems more like a curve, like we're kind of slowing down, and that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping it's not gonna drop below these other floors we had. But if it does, like I said, I'm still not worried because of all those other positives and that are coming down the line. And I could be completely deluding myself. This far into the video, I can't see the timer on that big screen way over there. 15 minutes, 12 minutes. This far into the video, I always have to reiterate, yes, not a financial advisor, not an expert on crypto, not an expert on trading financials in general. So don't listen to me. I'm just telling you all the reasons I'm still positive, that I'm still bullish, and why I think this platform is still working the way it's supposed to and is going to come back up. It may not. I may lose all I have invested in it. And if that happens, it happens because I haven't put in more than I can afford to lose. And that's how we invest in these projects. I've got a little bit in EMP. I have a little bit in Seifu. And I have it in the Drip Garden and the Drip Faucet. And I had a little bit in the Animal Farm whenever that comes back online and is unpaused. You see some people here thinking we're hitting bottom as well, because it looks like. But I don't agree with this, or things will get really ugly. Again, are they looking back to December? They're not looking back at where we were here. And the Animal Farm and these other launches took attention away from DRIP. People sold out, claimed out of DRIP to go into the Animal Farm. We know that had to happen because it was part of the same ecosystem. They were already making money, and they had that FOMO, the fear of missing out. They wanted to make sure they didn't miss out on the Animal Farm. So 100% it makes sense that they pulled money out of DRIP and moved into the pigs and into the dogs and into these other things. And I think that caused the garden to suffer, caused Drip Faucet to suffer. And complete credit where it's, the devil is due, that may not have been the smartest move from Forex. A lot of people have said that. Launching so many projects within a short amount of time is maybe not the best. Not the best approach they could have taken. They could have spaced that out further because he'd already launched the faucet. I'm sorry, he already had the faucet going for a while. It's approaching a year, and then launched the garden, which is okay. Like, that's still dependent on drip. It's still part of the same ecosystem. But then to start launching the animal farm and all these other tokens, I could see that may have been a little too much too quickly. So that's a big possibility there. But there's a lot of these things I just think people don't understand in these comments, like what drip is dead. That's just fudding. That fear, uncertainty, doubt for no reason. Until 0.001. I mean, sure, if there's nothing else that interrupts it, if people just keep selling and keep getting scared and panic selling, there's just a lot of comments that don't make sense to me because I want to see them backed up with some evidence. Why do you think the things that you think? Why do you think it's going, nowhere? Why do you think it's a scam or XYZ, whatever you want to call it? You have to have some evidence behind that, and I don't see that. But that being said, I've ranted about it for 20 minutes. Maybe I'm still wrong 100%. Like I've said, there's a lot of evidence either way that I'm wrong. But I don't see, because it's kind of a crapshoot, right? Like, I can't control what everyone else does in the market. If everyone just decides to sell tomorrow and never come back to the project and no one ever talks about it again, sure, it can just die and go to zero, and maybe we'll lose all we have. But I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing new projects being announced and coming down the pipeline, new partnerships. I'm seeing a launch that had an issue that's being corrected by the developer, and I'm seeing a lot of positives. The negatives I'm seeing is a lack of communication from the dev. He's working a lot, I know that, to get these fixes in place, but there is a lot of confusion sometimes in the main Animal Farm chat. There could be better adminning capabilities there. There could be a better avenue for beginner questions. They really need a Discord. I saw that echoed on another channel today as well. They need a Discord or something else that is made for thousands and thousands of participants. However many they have in there, it's just way too many for a Telegram chat, and it's not manageable. Yeah, they have 58,000 members in there. That's actually pretty bullish for the system, but that's really hard to manage from an administrative standpoint. He needs better PR people. He needs people who can communicate on his behalf in a more studious, a more efficient, a more quick manner to get that out to the actual fans and beginners who want to invest, but they don't really know what's going on. And they see all this drama and all these issues in the chat, not issues with the protocol. And that's confusing for them. The white paper needs to be a little more detailed. That is also a con, I would say, not a plus. It needs to be more detailed. It's fun. It's a fun story with the theme. But if you look at the documentation from, say, like EMP or Seifu, they've got this kind of layout where it's easy. I can actually have everything explained rather than so much extra story. And he got too far into the theming, I think, on his white paper. He got too far into the theming, and that's fun, but there's not enough explanation down to the nitty-gritty. It basically explains, but it could be better. So there are a few cons. I'm not going to sit here and shill it like I loved every piece of this puzzle, but for all those reasons above that I've been talking about, I'm not worried. I'm not scared about this price that we're sitting at today. Yeah, I'm seeing more of a leveling action still. We'll see. This may not be the floor, but it's kind of looking like it. Looks like it's going to come back up, and the garden and everything would benefit, and it'll attract new capital in. So that is a very long-winded explanation. Oh, yeah, look at that little tail starting to form there. We will see. We should know through tomorrow and the next day, through the weekend. We'll see what happens with it. But that was a long-winded explanation as to why I'm still bullish on DRIP, why I wouldn't be panic selling right now, why I'm still just bullish in general on the whole network, and those who are panic selling, they might miss out. I don't know. I can't advise them on what to do with their funds, but it seems ill-advised to panic or think that this is some type of failure or a scam or that it's just dropping out of the sky. I don't see that based on the common sense and sensibilities I have, but I've been wrong before. It may drop to zero and we all lose out. Don't quote me either way. I hope you guys have a great morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you in your part of the world. I love everyone who's subscribing. That's amazing. About 1,300 subscribers in like less than a month. 3 weeks, I think we are. So that's pretty impressive. I'm really flattered by that because I have a few YouTube channels. I run one on survival. I run one on a couple other things I haven't touched in a while, and I've never seen that type of growth. I know people like making money and they like hearing about ways they could make money, or they just like watching other people's journey, and that's really awesome as well. So whatever the case, whatever you're here for, I appreciate the like and subscribe always. And for those few who have used my links for referrals, that's awesome as well. I think that really helps me have a little more to make content with. That if I get if I get quicker, let me rephrase, if I can get to my goals quicker where I'm trying to be, which is just to be able to squeeze a little bit of profit here and there off these protocols, because I don't make a lot extra right now. Anyway, I'm a single father. I throw in what I can to play around with and to make these videos for you guys. So when I do get those extra referrals, I really appreciate it for that purpose, that I have a little more to play with and I can demonstrate to a greater ability, with that multiplication effect of having more funds in there. Is the protocol working? Is it not? Yes, no, why? And then maybe have a little more on profit to throw into other protocols and test those for you. And that's what I want to keep doing. I don't want to just test every single small protocol I see pop up. But if they have some merit and a lot of people are talking about them and they don't just look like instant scams, of course, I want to try them out. And so the more quack capital I have, I almost said quackittle. Probably some type of duck joke in there. But yeah, the more capital we have to play with that, the better, so that I can continue that journey for you in a more diverse way. And we should all be diversifying anyway. Like I said, I'm in EMP, I'm in Seifu, I'm in the garden, I'm in the farm. I'm trying to hit everything, even though these are paused right now, and just see where they go, and just keep plodding along, as I say, which is very appropriate for the piggy bank. Just keep plodding along like a little pig, snatching up the truffles here and making more piglets, or in the garden just dropping seeds, making more plants, and seeing where we end up. I think that's a fun journey, and I hope you continue to watch and follow me on that. Even if it ends in epic failure, we will laugh together, and we will move on, and we will try something else. So once again, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, that's amazing. I probably would have turned off my rambling by now. If you did make it this far, please leave a comment, because I'm amazed. I got to give you a heart and remember who you are, because that's pretty impressive that you have the fortitude to listen this long. All right, you guys have a great one. I will see you on the next video.